Good day, lords and ladies of the internet. I'm your host, the Parafox Archangel, the English gentleman of the internet, and I welcome you back to This Is the Police, where we're trying to overthrow the Mafia with a new form of Mafia. We still got a Mafia we're gonna have to deal with, but one step at a time. Right. Let us start the day and see what we need to do. Let's put on our Chopin, because we love our Chopin. It's a very nice sounding. It's a very nice soundtrack. I really ought to look in the catalog to see what other music there is. Actually, let's do that. Nothing new for until the 31st of July. All right. Fair enough. Sans needs help. Our people were scouting ahead of Mr. Sans' movements, and we spotted a punk carrying a gun. There's sure to be a few more of those bastards lying nearby. Let's get ready and turn the... Alright. I mean, we have to do them. We have to do them. Destruction of property. Constitution 2000 arcade. The attendant at the arcade called in a complaint about two teenagers who broke the steering wheel of the turbo nitro machine, and they're currently fleeing the scene. Alright, you know what? Yancey, you can probably do that by yourself. Municipal assignment. The wife of the mayor, the wife of the mayor's press secretary loves choral singing. Today's her birthday, so please send some men with good voices. I have no idea who that would classify as, so we'll send you two. How'd the destruction of property go, Yancey? Good man. Good man. Illegal arms sales. An eyewitness reports that a man is selling weapons on the street, right out of the trunk of his car. Someone is getting shot every night around here. You need to finally do something. Oh, I totally agree. Let's go. The Vargas need help. Mr. Vargas told us to bring him a van of fruit, but Sans men caught up with our driver on the bridge, and they're throwing the shipment into the river. Maybe you can quickly get there to save a box or two of oranges. You know what? We'll send one person, and then you need some help, do you? Well, now I'm in a very bad state, because I've got no free officers.
511 in progress.
Firefight. A dock worker sighted several armed men making their way between some cargo docks. Soon after, he heard several shots and screams, and the precise... That is an awful lot of stuff that's going on right there. Can you guys hurry up? And we found the non-automatic weapon. Well, bring it to the police station, and you have goddamn 10 seconds to get home! San needs one thing. One of our minor deliveries got intercepted by some pecking punks. Boxes of towels, napkins, and various cooking utensils that were supposed to be going to the ranch. Now they're scattered across the highway like a circus sideshow. They're having a laugh and making us look like clowns, too. We're not too broken up about the towels, but we need to teach those punks a lesson. Alright, first up, we send you with the SWAT and the paddy wagon, and basically our most experienced people. There we go. Then, you. Mr. Boyd, I feel bad coming back to you again, but you're really the only one who can help with this. Those records that my ex sued me for, well, I got them back, of course, and I guess this could be nothing, but her big-nosed brother had his sights on them. The idiot even hired a private detective who's been at my store for 3 days straight, and now he has the audacity to come to my house and accuse me of being involved in the record's disappearance. I don't know if he has any evidence, but the risk is too high. Can you scare them both? Make sure they stop poking their nose. Jesus Christ, how many things do you think I've got? You gotta go, and that's not enough, apparently, so... And Hoj, you might as well try that yourself. Look, I'm sorry you, but I don't have any.
We've got a situation here.
The police detachment arrived on the scene and found 3 corpses, six criminals armed with automatic weapons, surrounding a cargo container. The criminals spotted the police, and 2 of them have already rushed to escape. Freeze. Everyone put your hands in the air. The remaining criminals are hiding in the shipping container. Improvise a way to smoke them out.
511.
Well done. Found loot, cocaine. Ooh, bring it to the police station, of course. Suspicious individual. False alarm. You know what? I was a little thought about that. The man's suspicions were aroused by a shopping center employee wearing a costume. He was dressed as the hero from the movie Dressed in Blood. He was pretending to menace visitors as part of the fun, but he wasn't going to kill anyone. The Vargas need help. Well, we can't. Alright, you got an extra frame, did you? Well, that looks somewhat reasonable. So, now if I'm not mistaken, the Vargas should only be 1 point in the lead now. That is correct. Okay. Okay. Let's go. Mayor proves his commitment to nepotism. City Police Chief, not elected position, says Mayor Rogers. Mayor Rogers, if my nephew wants to lead the police, I support him. Sounds very rigged, that. Well, let's start the day and go on our way. And it is now that I can request something for this. And I'm going to request another officer, because we're very clearly going to need one. Hire female cops. City Hall, considering certain recent events, you are obligated to grant some concessions to the feminists. You are to make sure that at least half of the staff at the police station are women. You have 3 days.
411 in progress.
Suicide threat. A taxi driver heard someone screaming and noticed a few people gathering on the bridge as he was driving towards the port. He stopped to see if anyone needed help, but as he approached, he saw that a man was threatening to throw himself off and 2 children into the icy water below. Jason left us. I lost my job and the house. There's no way we'll survive. It's better if everything ends now. Well, Stovall and Birch and Class, you go. How many of my thing are women? 1? Oh, we've got 1 on shift A. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I don't know if that includes the detectives is the issue. Because if that includes the detectives, then...
810 in progress.
Breaking and entering. An elderly man, speaking in a raspy whisper, just reported in a break-in. There's someone in my house. They're pounding on the door and marching all through the stairs. Alright, we'll send the 2 new big guys. Come on, guys. Let's see what you can do. 2 tearful boys, clearly in a state of shock, are standing dangerously close to the edge of the bridge. Beside them, their drunk and distraught father is slowly pushing the children closer to the precipice. Don't be upset, my friend. Tell me about your wife. Don't be upset, my friend. Tell me about your husband. Oh. Yeah, let's say, tell me about your husband, because it was a male name, so... A strong gust of wind almost blows one of the children off the bridge, but he recovered at the last moment and stumbled to the ground with a scraped knee. Stand back and try not to agitate the man. Rush to the aid of the children. Look, quit falling around. These children have suffered enough. Yeah. The man slurs his words, saying there's no point delaying the inevitable. Think about what you're doing. There's people who care about you. Point a gun at the man and order him to step away from the edge. Yeah, because that's gonna work! Your children have their whole lives in front of them. You can't make this decision for them.
411 complete.
Booyah.
In progress.
Orderly misconduct. Secretary Abigail Jones told the police that her boss, Martin Kablik, returned from a meeting in quiet state. When he entered, he took a bag of white powder from his safe and shut the door. Now he is yelling inconsistently and making a scene, demanding that his secretary deliver him the head of a unicorn, or he'll cut her throat with a letter opener, and then go after the rest of her family. Yeah, that's a little bit on the extreme side. Vandal and Somali, you go. False alarm. There was no one except the dogs in the house. They were scratching at the door because they wanted to go outside. Oh, okay. A young drunken biker broke into the church and rode between the pews, defied the sacred crucifix, and fled the scene. Alright, Moser, you're gonna have to take this one. Sans needs help. A member of the family was at a restaurant having dinner with his secret lover, but because the affair was a secret, he was light on protection, and one of Vargas' agents was able to slip a grenade in the room. This is a best job handled by the police. Unofficially, of course. And we found cocaine from this disorderly conduct. Well, of course we're just going to send it to us. Look, I may do the odd job for the Mafia. I may be technically trying to overthrow the Mafia with a new Mafia, but that doesn't mean I'm willing to provide them with goods. I can't help the Vargas with this task. I could do, but if I do, then I'm losing. And I can't do that because Sans would be losing, and we're not allowed Sans to lose if I want to live. So I can't do that particular job.
710 in progress.
Hostage situation with a fatal casualty. A man wearing a suit walked into the lobby of a bank, locked the doors, and proceeded to kill several customers. He never said a word, he just started firing at people, reported one of the eyewitnesses. A dozen people remain inside the building, and the criminal's demands are yet unknown. Okay, then! That's definitely something where we need to send the SWAT. Situation is more serious than you thought. Okay, Class and Birch, get over there! Sans needs help. A sweet girl named Anna is one of our key assets in a large accounting firm. She just got home from work and found her house on fire, and the a-holes that started it are still standing around admiring their work. Wouldn't it be pretty if someone cracked open their skulls and tossed them into the flame? You know, I swear I should only be using particular people when doing, like, the Mafia missions, but...
710
Well done. Well done, everyone. The Vargas need help. I think I can do that one, because I've done 2 missions for Sans. Our guys usually meet up in an abandoned building at the end of the day to go over the score. But Sans figured out where we were meeting and turned the whole building into a fire trap. We're trying to get our friends out of there before the whole building goes up, and we need some professional help. Say no more! Destruction of property. 3 more frames. We found nothing. Hit and run. Okay, now this looks like something we'll probably be able to complete now. So, this dark-coloured car comes tearing around the corner, hopped the curb, and kept on going. Knocked over the man, didn't even slow. Not long before the crash, I kicked a couple of drunks out of the bar. They were having a fight with some of my regulars. A few days ago, Dad had a fight at work, and with a couple of young people who were causing a ruckus at the library. The whole thing almost came to blows. They threatened him before they left. I saw 2 people in the car. They were right by me. The man in the passenger seat had a beard. Kimdek thought he was being followed. He said he saw the guy everywhere. Said it looked like someone he had a problem with at the library. Right. They say it's a dark-coloured car. There we go! That works! Alright then. No new frames found. Really? What's that about? What's this about? Oh! Okay, so we have to send 2 different people to deal with this. Hit and run. William's last known place of residence, but the information is 3 years old. William's favourite place to tie one on. He knows everyone. Well, that seems the more likely place for us to need to go. But I can send one to both. And because of that, I will send one to both. Hit and run. Report. Offender caught. Nice. Case closed. That means you 2 are going there for nothing. Wrong place. Yep, thought as much. Alright, that wasn't so bad. And look, they're tied, meaning I'm safe, right? Businessmen express desire to leave city. 86% of residents oppose demolition of Corn Monument. Movie production studio may appear in Freeburg. Oh, that sounds cool. I mean, everyone wants a movie studio near them, don't they? It means you've got a good chance of being an actor. Oh, I've got 2 badges now, do I? Well, if I've got 2, I should probably give them to someone. And Purdy, you have more than proved yourself half the time. Let us start the music. Excellent. City request. You can hire 1 more police slot. Perfect. I am not hiring any of those. Sans needs help. Freeburg Elementary School. The Sans family main attorney is under guard around the clock, and that goes double for his children. But before we could pick them up from the school this morning, some Viga punks kidnapped them. We don't know how Viga found them. They live under false names. Anyway, you need to act quickly. They couldn't have gotten far. You know what? Children are involved. Maybe I'm wrong for siding with Viga. Maybe I'm wrong for siding with Vargas. But then again, I really don't like Sans. Freeburg Elementary School. Fight. Two senior students began to fight right in the middle of chemistry class. Their teacher, Doris Ponder, tried to calm them down. But when she tried to separate them, she was poked in the eye. Theft! Oh. Hold on. I have to free someone up. I also just realized I should have been reading these more.
1111.
Drug sales, St. John's Hospital. Mrs. Dunbar said that a nurse tried to sell her drugs right in the hospital. I went to the doctor after I broke my arm. The nurse heard me complaining about the pain and waited until the doctor left. Then she started telling me about the pills she could get me. Better than Vanacun, according to her. Yeah, that definitely sounds bad. Then again, that also sounds like a false alarm. The Vigers need help. One of our boys broke into an apartment that Sans owns. The owner returned home, sensed something was wrong, and pulled a gun. Our man is still hiding somewhere inside. We could just go in there and get him, but it would help if the police could create a distraction. You know, at times you gotta really question that if Sans doesn't realize I'm betraying him, he's an idiot. Loot found. Cocaine. I'm not having the Mafia sell it. Deal. Cornelius Blunt. Mr. Boyd, I'm a wealthy man, and I'm concerned about the fate of our fair city. I would like to fund 3 additional officer positions at your police department, but I must make one condition. My adopted son is to take one of the new jobs. Of course, you mustn't fire him under any circumstances. Do we have a deal? Absolutely! I can turn that man into something, I'm sure. Some goons grabbed the half city of one of our family members right off the street. Her driver called us from a nearby payphone, but he's a wimp and couldn't actually do anything. From the description we got, it sounds like Viga's men. If you could get there first, hold on to them for us. Don't hurt them too much. Just make sure you don't let them escape. We have something special planned. Very well. Don't worry, Percy. Birch here was originally 5 professionalism. We'll build you up. We'll build you up. A robbery, you say? A parking valet just called in, reporting that a girl exiting an expensive car was approached by a man wearing a hood, who threatened her and took her bag. Well, that's bad. Yancy and Tasubuki. Get over there. Actually, I should have sent Asano, but whatever.
412 in progress.
Assault with an offensive what? Assault with an offensive weapon. An older prisoner, tired of eating the food served in the prison cafeteria, made his way into the kitchen carrying a shiv, intent on having a word with the chef. A guard called the police as he was reluctant to enter the kitchen for fear of further provoking the prisoner. Right, Purdy, Little, and Percy. Off you go. I said I'd make something of Percy. I'm gonna make something of Percy. Assault with an offensive weapon. The kitchen floor is decorated with broken plates and an overturned pan with muddy slush. An elderly prisoner is sitting on a stool, dipping his head in a pot of slush and shoving it towards the cook's face, yelling, "You try to eat this crap!" Hey, we've got a couple of nice warm burgers here. You're lucky you're fed at all. Let's cook something else. Let's cook up something else. Only takes a minute. You know what? I agree with that. Well done, Percy. Well done. We're gonna turn you into a policeman eventually. Today we welcome some new recruits into our ranks. While we were performing the initiation ceremony, we had one man standing lookout. Sans people rushed the poor guy, set him on fire, and are standing there watching him die in agony. Someone has to stop this. Yeah, that has to be stopped. That's a little much. Okay, it's about to be midnight, meaning we're going to get our investigations. What's going on? Ah, you're the theft. Right. That's nothing to me. Ooh, we have something here, though. So, we have enough things. Let's read. Mrs. Mason. Clara Mason Passioner. I've been going to Sunday service for... Actually, isn't the lead investigator for that? In the other shift? Yes. Meaning I shouldn't touch that yet. Ooh, 2 new frames. Who's the lead investigator for that one? Also the previous shift. Okay, not gonna try anything with that then. Right, nothing happened. Let's end the day. Ah, 6 points to both. They're really head-to-head, aren't they? Percy is goddamn dead tired. Citizen earnings have fallen 9% since New Year. Former City Hall employee admits official unemployment data far from reality. Yeah, that makes sense. Unemployment in Freiburg is lowest in history. Yeah, that definitely has got to be falsified. Okay. You know what, Junior? You deserve a stripe. There you go. Ah, glorious wonder. Tomorrow is the deadline. Well then, you'd better give me some good cops to hire, because, you know, there isn't any. Besides, I actually can't do it either, because, you know, well, I've got more male cops than I do female cops at the moment, and hiring a single female cop will not make a difference with that, so...
210 in progress.
Disorderly conduct. The elderly Emma Wilson called in a complaint about her neighbors. Her house is shaking from loud sounds of gashing metal and the roar of turbines, accompanied by some strange beeping noises. Through the window, she saw people moving around. You know what, Somali and Birch, this seems like a job for you. Oh look, July 31st. Does that mean we got new songs now? Yeah, it does. Alright, what do we got? String quartet. Ooh, I love string instruments. That's gonna be very nice. Gotta make sure I buy that. I love my classical music.
710 in progress.
Hostage situation with a fatal casualty. Patients at the local assignment rebelled against the nurses during breakfast. 3 new nurses have been wounded, while others remained locked in with the patients in the dining area. They've threatened to kill 1 nurse every hour until they're released. Yeah, we need to send some big professional people there. Oh, also I need to look at these, because these are now complete. Probably. Well, I'm going to assume it's the new pictures. It is indeed. I love how you get all the experience. Then what about here? What about this one? Clara Mason, parishioner. I've been going to church. I've been going to church service for 36 years, and this is the first time I've ever seen such a disgrace. Some crazy young man on a motorcycle drove straight through the doors of God's temple and began running around, shouting blasphemy. He even dared raise his hand to the Holy Father, nuance. What is the youth of today? Then the Holy Father. It all happened so quickly. The guy drove straight between the pews, almost crushing a parishioner. Then he looked into the confessional and threw a bottle, and he ran up to me and shouted, "The devil sits on the roof of the church." Then he shoved me. I fell to the floor. The crazy man shouted, "My hand is hard as stone. I'll knock you out of the saddle, Satan." And then he threw his helmet at the cross above the altar and sped away. I was in the confessional when it happened. I was waiting for Father Nuez to finish his ceremony so he could hear me. I have sinned so much this week. As I was sitting in the confessional, I heard the noise of an engine like a motorbike. Then there was a roar and a man shouted, "Come, Lucifer, do not hide from me." A few seconds later, a young man in a black leather jacket opened the door of the confessional and yelled, "I will seek out the devil wherever he may hide." And then he threw a bottle at me, shards stuck in my face. Helmet. At the scene of the crime, we found a black helmet with a white spot on top. On the pavement near the church, we found traces of 3 motorbike tires. Right. You enter the church. You sped through the pews. You threatened the guy in the confessional. Beat up the Holy Father. And then That probably isn't right, but... yeah, I don't think that's it. Alright, well, we got one of them at least, the arson. Let's go get her. What the heck? Oh, they're going to the prison, right. The Vargas need help. Well, I don't have enough policemen right now. Hostage situation. Reporters and onlookers have gathered around the building. The asylum patients are watching the growing crowd through the windows of the third floor. Call in a negotiator. Diplomacy. Diplomacy, everyone. Report, arson. Well done. Well done. Right, the Vargas need help. Mr. Vargas introduced us to a man named Bob. Bob can get us any weapons we want, so we like Bob. But his neighbors just called, saying they saw some strange men in his house. One of them was carrying a knife. We want to keep Bob alive. Is that the sort of thing the police can help with? Well, technically. I mean, at least you try to word it correctly. Reckless endangerment, city center. A frightened woman phoned in, reporting that two men dressed in armor were running around the street shouting, "Beware our strings." They were chasing passerbys and swinging their blades at them. They've not done any harm, but their swords seem dangerous enough. That somehow seems like a false call, so I'll send those two. Offender caught, officers unharmed. Well, apparently they were dangerous, so be it. An old friend is visiting Mr. San, and they're planning on going horseback riding. But the owner of the country club just called. He wasn't making much sense, but it sounds like some punks are beating Mr. San's horses to death. To death, even, not to dead. What kind of English is that? Also, I really ought to pay for the police academy. And I'm gonna send Michael there. The Vargas need help. After San smashed up all of our sports car, Mr. Vargas promised us new ones. Today the first of them arrived at the port. We want to pick them up, but some a-holes locked Tommy in his car and picked it up with a crane. Tommy's shouting like he thinks he's about to die. Man, I swear these Vargas are just punks that are doing pranks half the time. It's probably what they actually are, honestly. Oh my god, am I completely endangering the city by putting them in charge? Like, Sans is psychopathic, but... no, sorry. Sans is sociopathic, but the Vargas seem psychopathic. Kim Luria reports that suspicious people are constantly going in and out of the apartment next door. They're carrying big bags, making a lot of noise, screaming, and his three sons can't concentrate on their homework. Mr. Yu urges someone go show these bandits who's boss. So be it! The Sans need help. Noise complaint. Well done, everyone. Found loot. Automatic weapon. Bring to the police station. Definitely that. A whole mob of Vargas people attacked a truck belonging to one of our companies. The truck is carrying some important cargo. The kind that only Mr. San and his deputies know about. The driver tried to call us, but we lost the connection. He may already be dead. You gotta stop those people before they make off with the goods. Understandable. You know, I swear you're gonna quit and that's gonna make me lose my job slots. I just get a feeling. Alright. What do we have here, then? Oh, that was one of the main problems. This didn't have the whatchamacallit. Okay, also, you throw the bottle into the confessional, you throw the helmet with the white mark, and then you did something involving the partitioner. No? Well, I feel we might be missing something then, because this looks like the right order of events. Also, wasn't there another? Yeah, there is. Ah, but I don't have anyone from today working on that one. Right. Oh, they're still neck and neck! Who's going to win in the end? We already know the answer to that. Former Mafia member bemoans City Hall corruption. Chief physician at St. John Hospital accused of slander. Mayor declined services of spokesman. I speak for myself. Man, we're not getting much cutscenes at the moment, are we? We're just doing what we do. We're police, just policing the city. Yeah, you can come in. You know, the fact you asked, but whatchamacallit? You've got terrible heartburn this morning. No, I'm already missing someone. Jack, you swore an oath to keep your word. Blah, blah, blah. Look.
611 in progress.
Oh, that's a pretty bad one. Two homeless men made their way into a local bakery under the cover of darkness. They ate their fill and bedded down for the night. In the morning, the lone baker, Gregory Martens, along with cashier Anna Lucas, went inside and discovered the damage. The homeless men, armed with knives, were unhappy to be disturbed and attacked the victims. The shopkeeper managed to escape, but the cashier remained inside with the homeless men, who were seen tearing off her clothes. Okay! Let's send in the big professional people for that. That does seem very, very bad. Sands needs help. After the incident with the horses, we secretly transferred Mr. Sands' guest to a local hotel and set a guard outside his door. Suddenly, we're hearing screams coming from his room and there's water flowing from the bathroom. We'll break down the door, but a police presence wouldn't hurt. Well done, everyone. Well done.
311A in progress.
Blitz. Fight. Fight. Blitz Cafe. Two truckers fell to blows over a parking space in the lot near the diner. The cook tried to separate them, but was struck by a wild punch. Is now laying motionless on the ground. All right, you know what? Send the 3 remaining people. Theft. St. John's Hospital. Why is there a new goddamn investigation every single day? All the painkillers at the hospital pharmacy disappeared shortly after the building lost electricity. The pharmacy door shows no sign of forced entry. Right, okay. Vargas need help. We're putting on a small concert in the club, but during the break, someone noticed that there was a bomb under the stage. Everyone's afraid to move in case they set it up. Please send someone to help. Fight! Perfectly good. Well done. What's this then? Amy Marabun, Darano. Jack, my entire staff at the donut shop came down with the flu, and I haven't been able to find anyone else who could help out. Could you send a couple of your men? I'm sure they wouldn't mind frying up some donuts. It's easy. I'll show them everything they need to do. My shop barely makes ends meet, so I can't afford even one day of downtime. You know what? That's fair. Let me send my 2 worst cops. It's perfectly fine. I do love how I've basically got one shift which is almost entirely men, and then one shift which is almost entirely women. We need backup. Some punks tried to crash one of our poker games, and we aren't about to let them walk off with we aren't about to let them walk with the money. So now we've got ourselves a standoff. A couple of ossipers on the scene would help change the situation in our favor. The main thing is it looks like we can't fail. I'm telling you, Chief, standing over that fryer is hellish work. I'd rather dodge bullets than the spray from the boiling oil. But at least Mrs. Banner promises she'll keep us in donuts for the rest of the year. Oh, sweet! We just earned a cashier of donuts! Public indecency. During a special viewing of the theatre, law-abiding Max 3. Sure, that's the movie. A theatre employee discovered one of the members of the audience had removed their trousers. The man noticed the employee was watching him and responded with the threat he could cut the throats of everyone in the theatre. Purdy and Kochi, get over there. The Vigors need help. We were supposed to keep an eye on the house where Mr. Viger keeps some important document. We were here just 5 minutes and already the house is on fire. At least help us get those papers out of the house before the whole thing goes up. So in other words, they're goddamn useless idiots, is what I'm hearing from that.
We've got a situation.
Public
here.
indecency. The movie theatre isn't too crowded and the film is in full swing. Carefully approach the man.
214 complete.
Well done, ladies. Well done. I just realized I sent 2 women to go deal with the naked man. Vandalism. A man who wished to remain anonymous reported that a group of teenagers had once again made fun of his name by writing insulting rhymes on his 6-foot wide garage. The man is enraged and threatened that next time he'll use a weapon to defend his honor. I don't know who we're trying to catch in that situation. The teenagers or the man? Alright, let's take a look at these. Alright, that's the new investigation, which means we can't do crap about it. Then we got the theft. I still didn't read any of the investigations, did I? Refuse Campus, museum garden. I walk the museum every hour. The alarm is off. City Hall won't allocate the money to fix it. I didn't hear the glass breaking. It's a big museum. When I went down this way again, it was already early morning. The window was broken and the canvas was cut from the frame. There was no trace of anyone around, just a brick lying on the floor. Museum parking lot camera. The parking lot was empty all night. In the morning, a cyclist went past with a tube on his shoulder. The guy slowly rolled into the parking lot, then left the bike for a couple of minutes and went out of sight. When he got back on the bike and left. Right. I suffer from some I don't even know how to start with all this. So let's just put things in random orders until I get a right one. Oh! Sweet, you're a professional at what you do. Alright, hold on. No new frames were found of this investigation. Really? Alright, well. Residential area. Rafael Camos lives alone in a small apartment. Right. Storage buildings. A storage space has been rented in the name of Rafael Camos. This might be where he's keeping the stolen painting. You know what? Sure.
211 complete.
Report vandalism. Officer caught. Well done, everyone. And you know what? We're going to send people here too, just in case. Offender caught. Nice. And then you guys are at the wrong place, so it doesn't matter. That's a lot of poker chips that are lying on the table. I think that poker chip's on the wrong side of the table, honestly. Robespierre. I'm pretty wealthy, but deeply unhappy. Mayor calls prosecutor's office to check Robespierre's statements for extremism. University of Freiburg tuition costs to decrease. That's always a good thing to see. Tuition costs for universities decreasing instead of increasing. It looks like the janitor hasn't been around to clean the toilets today. Jesus, no. No, you may not. But yes, you can go home. You are tired. Look, man, you are our most professional person. You're not allowed to leave. Especially as the other guy is apparently still on his bloody whatchamacallit. Bomb threat. An irate lumberjack by the name of Grisham Hank claims that he planted a bomb in the cathedral. He says he'll blow up the building with everyone inside unless the police arrest the priest. Apparently the priest is convinced his recently deceased wife to refuse treatment at the hospital and ask for God's help instead. Oh, so the priest is an idiot. Salary. Here's your salary. We hope we don't disappoint. What is that? The chief of police is making like $5 an hour right now. A Japanese businessman who must remain nameless will soon arrive in Freiburg. The city hopes to sign a major contract with him. As our guest, he will examine many of our institutions, including the police station. His visit is scheduled on August 5th. Please ensure there are at least 3 Asian workers working that day. Right. I'm trying to remember what I need to look at. Okay. Well, you're Asian, so you'll do. On the 5th, right? That means it'll be Shift B. Meaning, if I hire the new guy for Shift B, then we immediately have what we need for that. Okay. The Vargas need help. Someone sent a blood-soaked box to our leader's home. Most likely it contains a head or some other body part. We don't want to open the box until there's a policeman present. Fair? The cathedral is full of visitors. Find the priest and begin the evaluation. Deploy all forces in an attempt to find the bomb. Announce the bomb threat and order everyone to evacuate immediately. No, that's a very bad idea. Find the police and begin evaluation. An improvised explosive device has been discovered under the pew near the altar. Ensure the cathedral has been evacuated.
10-10A complete.
Yep, that works. So I clearly need to ask for a raise in my next thing. Or maybe I don't, and I just say, if you're going to screw me out of my money, I'm just going to make my money other ways.
Progress.
Public indecency. A drunken teenager, encouraged by his group of friends, stripped off his clothes at the cash register and attempted to purchase a pack of condoms. It seems like it seems like some sort of hazing or rite of passage. Monk. Chief, some guy in rags is trying to enter the police station. He says that he's a Tibetan monk and he wants to talk to our patrolmen about the nature of violence. Should we let him in? Yes! Violence is not the answer. I've already made that clear, I think by the amount of things I've done that don't involve violence. Like throwing the sex doll. Sans needs help. As a safety precaution, we've decided to change all the staff that work on the rand. We just hired 8 new maids from the neighboring city, but the bus they were taking got intercepted by some of Vargas' punks. Let's teach them a lesson that even our maids can't be trifled with. Hold on a moment. There he is. You know, things are really slow today, aren't they? The hockey team that Mr. Sands owns is ready for an important match. The ice hockey arena is closed during the training hours, but the stadium director just reported that some people in strange clothes are breaking in and climbing onto the stands.
412A in progress.
Assault, suburb. A crazed woman just rang in. My God, this wretch is going to kill my baby. Please, someone is... The call ended abruptly. You know what? That somehow sounds like a false call, but I'm sending Mr. Mega Professional anyway. I wish I could see whether people classify as Asian or not. Victus Viger. We got a little money together, and we decided we'd build a bar in the basement of one of our houses. Today, opening day is today, and someone started pounding on the front door. At first, we thought it was the neighbors complaining about the noise, but then Sans people rushed in, and they're smashing everything. Some of us got out, but others are beat up pretty bad. It really is literally organized mafia versus a bunch of punks. Attempted murder. A woman driving past on the bridge saw two thugs grabbing a skinny guy by the legs and hanging him over the bridge railing. The man was struggling and shouting. Yeah, that sounds bad. Let's end all we got left. An elderly woman's cat got into a fight with a neighbor's dog. The dog ran back home when 4 other cats jumped out of the house to the rescue. I thought it was a false alarm. We got 2 more frames, do we? Hold up a moment. Is that... Who's the lead detective? Oh, he is on scene today. Cool. That looks like he's got a white mark on the helmet. Alright, apparently that's what we were missing. Kevin's throat bar. Grigory Pozlin continued pursuing the devil in the bottom of a glass. Attempted murder. Officer court. Officer court? Offender court. Jesus Christ, I need to just stop. Report. Destruction of property. Offender court. Well done, everyone. Well done. I think that's quite a successful day. Now that poker chip is definitely on the wrong side, unless Vargas somehow got himself a de facto or a traitor, as they would say. Construction of new school postponed again. New federal law allows criminals to launder money more easily. Freiburg to host expedition of children's drawings. Well, you know what? I think we've had a pretty good run today. We've done a lot of stuff. We made sure that we didn't Sans didn't kill us, and we've been helping all the mafias do all their criminal activities. We're such good police, aren't we? Well, everyone, it looks like I'm all out of time for today's episode, so what can I say other than thank you all for joining me today? I've been your host, the Parafox Archangel, the English gentleman of the internet, and I hope to see you all again next time. But I'm afraid that, until then, it is time for me to to bid thee all farewell, good day, and finally, good night.